future me here. In the end of this video, you'll see how I was telling you guys where Q's was likely to go and why you should be holding onto your puts until we get there. Remember, we were talking about getting into these puts all the way up here at 439.57. We were breaking all the way down. I told you where I expected it to go before it happened. Go check the timestamps. And here we are just a couple minutes later at the line that we had drawn earlier this morning, 437.82. So support resistance haters, it works. They pay. Just got to know how to use them. Enjoy the rest of the video. Love you guys. What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded, and yes, it is Friday, April 12th, 2024, and yes, it is only 12:22 in the afternoon, but guess what? I never make videos on Friday. Today, I feel like it. And number two, it's half day Friday, so I get off at 12 o'clock every Friday. With that said, let me get this first out of the way for my haters out there, and you know who you are. I don't trade. This is all hypothetical speak. Don't follow what I do. The information that I share with you for free in these videos is worthless. It only helps people who use it in the proper way to make a lot of money. So for those of you who are having a hard time grasping the concept of trading or education, or the fact that people are out there really trying to help other people get better at things, instead of being an asshole and throwing rocks at people and assuming that it's full of shit, maybe try to be better as a person and as a trader yourself. Maybe. With that said, let's go ahead and launch the chart because it was a fantastic day, not just for me in my hypothetical trades, but for the community members in our group. And we're going to talk about those trades. So let's see what we got going on. Pre-market, for whatever reason, started to sell off. Nothing wrong with that. You know, we got out of our pre-market range pretty quick, started to break through some of these levels of support resistance, all the way down to 513.55. Okay, obviously a pretty strong level of support here. Going into the open, very clear and concise rules. Everybody who followed them got paid well. There are some folks who didn't take any trades. That's also fine as well. The ones I was trying to protect were the people who inherently believed that because we were selling off like this, puts had to be the way, right? Ultimately, they were, but you needed to wait for the right reason to do so. Let's talk about why calls may have been considered at the open and why you should have waited on puts. Okay, whether you take these trades or not is completely irrelevant. Our call line was at a breach of 514.83. Why? Because we are putting in higher lows in pre-market. It's the first thing I said. So guys, as much as you may feel like puts are what we should be doing at the open, recognize that any other time of the day, on any day of the week, I would always tell you guys, and you would answer me with the right answer when I'd say higher lows are bad for, and collectively as a group, they all say puts. So let me ask you, why, while we are currently putting in higher lows, would you be interested in jumping into puts aggressively? Well, because the market's selling off, Jimmy, until it's not. Until it's not. Guys, at some point, every move comes to an end. Okay? Having an idea of when to spot when that end might be happening is kind of important, right? We're looking for probabilities. We're not looking for what we don't know. Right? We're looking for the right reasons to execute, to take on the risk of a trade and hope that it works out for us. That's all. Don't overcomplicate it. Guys, I wouldn't buy puts right at the open despite how big of a move to the downside we had in pre-market because we're putting in higher lows. It's the second one. If anything, be prepared for calls simply because we have a call line here. If we could get through that line of resistance, I believe it's going to run to at least 515.31. Okay? That's a 50-cent move. That pays. Likewise, if you get into those calls, make sure that if we close below 514.83, your entry line, that you get out. That's all. Counter trend trades, okay? Technically, on the day at this point, it was a counter trend trade, but we had reversed trend by putting in higher lows and higher highs. Done deal. Give it a shot. Break resistance. We're moving to the next resistance. That's as simple as I could keep it. We pull back to support. If you're interested in buying calls here, just make sure that the Qs are holding support. Take the risk. maybe we make it up to the next resistance. Well, it's not at 946 that the Qs are actually getting close to their resistance in pre-market, which is right here. Okay, right here. That's why we were touching up here. Same resistance on SPY, just at a different level. So it allows SPY to move up because ADD was tearing to the upside. And Qs were moving up as well. We're just playing with confluence in our favor. Okay, so you had the right entry here. You got people reason to get out here, which, by the way, was a 36.9% trade, hypothetically speaking. And don't mind the people who actually took the trade and made a lot of money on that. They're lying too. And then the people who got out up here obviously made a lot more than that, probably closer to 50 or 60%. Okay, great trade, great reason to get in, great reason to take profits. Likewise, we start to break down. Are we in a hurry to buy puts? No, not really. What do we want to wait for? We want to wait for this support to be taken out on SPY, minimum. Okay, minimum. Now I got in along with a whole bunch of other people aggressively. And the reason I did was because we were waiting for Qs to get below this level of support. Okay. Actually, what support? Where was it? Was it here? Yeah, we were looking for Qs to get below their line of support, coming off lower highs. Okay, we got in, held through the 10 o'clock candle, which was a little sketchy, but the report came in, saved us, right? Today's fucking Friday. We take a little bit more risk than normal, but we had taken out the current uptrend. We put in a lower high. We get down to support. We're breaching support. It's the reason we got in. We pulled back to resistance. Some people got in at the pullback. Qs finally closed below their support. The report hit, pushed us down. However, if you were going to be patient, not only did we get a close below support on SPY here at 514, Qs finally got through their support of day right here. Okay, right here for the first time. The criteria for puts conservatively came true. We want to make sure we can get below this proven line of support on the Qs. Make sure SPY's not sitting on support. There you go. Now, as long as the Qs can stay below that resistance, we're aiming for 439.83. And by the way, at this time, ADD is falling like a rock. Okay, so even though Qs were having a hard time moving lower, we got down to our put line. Okay, our put line is right here at 513.55. Now, because there's no price action below that line in pre-market, the rule is you wait for a candle close. Okay, well, if you got in here and you got out there, that was what was that? 41% move there. A little sketchy for a second. Qs continued to trend down, lower highs, lower lows, never getting back above this level of resistance, which was nice. But because ADD was moving down, SPY never even pulled back very much beyond your entry point. Okay, it wicked above, but never got back above it. And if it had, a candle close above that could be your stop loss. Otherwise, my target, even we were talking about it in pre-market, guys, if we can get through 513.55, my profit target's all the way down at 512.08, yesterday's low of day. Well, we did have some folks get in up here and hold it all the way down there. And as I say all the time, guys, the pink line is a stink line. You don't want to mess with that line. Okay? You don't want to hold through that line. Today was a perfect reason as to why you should at least respect it enough to make your stops really tight if you get to the pink line. Maybe consider taking profits. This was the cleanest move of the day right here. You got in at a very clear, concise entry point, and you made a $1.50 move to the downside. That pays. The gentleman who took this trade had 114% return. We had a whole bunch of people. Guys, at this point in time, everybody in our trade room, and I say everybody, most people in our trade room were done in very green, done for the day, done trading by 10:51 in the morning. It's a great day. There were some reds in here. I don't know what caused the reds, but a lot of them, whether they bought puts at open or whatever the case, but not many. And then we started to trend up. So Jimmy, when would you be interested in buying puts? Well, when we stop putting in higher lows. When we stop putting in higher lows. Guys, every day you say to me, I ask you, what's What are higher lows bad for? You answer me every day, puts. Okay, we're putting in higher lows and higher highs off of yesterday's low of day. I wouldn't buy puts. Okay, I wouldn't buy puts. If you're interested in calls, make sure you're buying off support. Make sure you're selling at resistance. Okay, we move up. We hit this resistance twice, can't get through it. Qs hitting resistance twice, can't get through it. Well, we put in a lower high. This was what I was talking about right before I left to get off the mic. I said, guys, calls are now off the table. It was actually right here because we had just taken out the most recent higher low. Right there. Calls are now off the table. I wouldn't jump into puts unless the Qs can get below 439.57. It's the last words I left them with. Besides, I love you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. If you're interested in playing puts, wait for the Qs to close below 439.57. Simple. Calls are off the table because we took out the most recent higher low and we're coming off a lower high. Simple. Follow instructions. Watch price action. Get rewarded. The Qs close below at this time at 12.14. Below that line of support. Where are we looking to go from here? Actually, it was on this candle right here, 12.14. To the puts, or the support on Qs. Going from one support to the next. It bounced off. It pulls back. If you're still in that trade, congratulations. I'm not there to see it. I'm not there to share it with you, but SPY's got a little ways to go to get to their next support, which is all the way down at 510.43. And the next Qs line, just for anybody who's still watching my live charts, is going to be, ooh, god damn, way down there. But we're not going to assume it's going to go that far, although it might. I would say, no, it's not supposed to be red. Sorry. Jeez, oh man. It's supposed to be orange. I would look for the 50% retracement between those two lines as your next target low, which will be right there. Okay, so for those of you who are interested in still holding on to those puts on the Qs, you want to stay below the resistance of 511.44, and we'd like to see us get all the way back down to 510.43 and maybe lower from there. With that said, I hope you all had a fantastic day today. Oh, whoops. Sorry. You want the Qs to stay below 438.93. I was on the wrong chart. Looking for it to get down to 437.82. If you're in puts and we close back above this line on the Qs, stop yourself out. You should be in very, very healthy profits right now. But at this point, I do believe we head down to 437.82. We'll see how that plays out. I won't be on the mic for that to take place, so we'll just see if it works out. With that said, at the moment, our win-loss ratio at the time of me leaving was 26 reds, 140 greens. That is overall as a community. We'll see if it stays that way or if it gets worse. Normally, the more people trade, the more their win rate suffers. Usually that red number starts to climb at a faster pace than the green one this late in the day. It's never failed me, and it probably won't be any different today. So I left them in a very, very good spot. And we'll see if anybody destroys what they've already accomplished today. Hope not, but it is what it is. With that said, I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Today was a great day. Took 2 trades myself, hypothetically, of course. And it's impossible to have a good win rate. It's impossible to win in the market, right? It's impossible to be a successful day trader. All of these things, guys. Just keep telling yourself that so that it's easier to accept failures of your shortcomings. All right? For those of you who are interested in learning, please stop by. It costs you nothing for the first week. All right? Absolutely nothing. We'd love to have you. If you got any useful information out of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. If you'd like to join our Discord community, well, there's a link down below. We'd love to have you. All right? First week's completely free. If you like what you get for that week, we will see. We'll see if you want to become a paid member. And if you're still in this trade from the time that we waited here, not only are you up hugely, we're hoping that the SPY makes it down to 510.43, but more importantly, we'd like to see Qs get to 437.82. If that happens, SPY is probably already going to be at your profit target. And if you were interested in taking profits, remember, all these lines are here for your profit-taking abilities, okay? They are proven levels of support and resistance. They're not end-all be-alls, but as we hit those, what I would highly recommend is that you simply move your stops down so that you cannot lose money and you don't give up too much of the profits you already have. We are pulling back to resistance. It's holding that resistance. Old support turning resistance on Qs. I'm looking for this move to go down to 437.82. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Till Monday, guys, I hope you have a great day. I love you. See you.